So as you remember, at the end of the 7th chapter, there was a request from Lord Brahma. The request was, Idam Bhagavatam Nama Yanme Bhagavatoditam Sangrahoyam Vibhutinam Twametad Vipilikuru. What I have spoken to you is called as Bhagavatam, which was spoken by Lord, spoken by the Supreme Lord unto me, Bhagavata Uditam Sangrahoyam Vibhutinam. In brief, I have spoke about the Vibhutis of the Supreme Lord. Twametad Vipilikuru. You need to elaborate, you need to expand. And then what you should do? Yata haro bhagavati nanam bhaktir bhavishyati sarvatmani akiladare iti sankalpya varnaya. Make a sankalpa, elaborate this whatever I have spoken to you, make a sankalpa and go everywhere and teach in such a way that bhakti should manifest in their hearts. So that was the request of Lord Brahma. So then, having heard that Lord Brahma made a request unto Parikshit Maharaj asks in the 8th chapter, Brahmana chodito Brahman gunakyane gunasya yasmai yata praha narado deva darshana. Narada sees the Supreme Lord everywhere, and kindly let me know wherever Narada traveled, to whomsoever, to what all different persons Narada spoke this Bhagavatam to, and what kind of bhakti manifested in them. So please speak to me. This question is answered throughout the Bhagavatam. Throughout the Bhagavatam, we see that Narada Muni traveling everywhere, meeting everyone and inspiring them, speaking them Bhagavatam to them, inspiring them, making bhakti manifest in their heart. At the end, very recently, he spoke the same Bhagavatam to Vyasdeva also. And that Vyasdeva compiled Bhagavatam for our benefit, reading which bhakti will manifest. Etad vedutum ichchami tattvam tattva vidam vara. You are best of the knowers of the tattva in truth. So I please speak to me everything in truth. Hare Adbhuta Viryasya Katha Loka Sumangala. Please speak about Hare Adbhuta Viryasya. Hare Katha Adbhuta Viryasya. Please speak about Hare Katha consisting of wonderful activities of Supreme Lord. Speaking which, hearing which brings Loka Sumangala. Auspiciousness to the entire world. So then, why Parikshit Maharaj want to hear all this? Because he told him to hear Bhagavatam. At the end of the 2nd chapter, that's what Pibantiye Bhagavata Atmanam Satam Katamrutam Shravana Puteshu Samrutam. So you told me to hear Bhagavatam. Now I want to hear about Bhagavatam and about devotees. Speak about Narada Muni. Where are you traveled, whomsoever he spoke, what kind of bhakti manifested in them. Why? Because only by hearing about the Supreme Lord, one's mind can absorb on the Supreme Lord. And then, by hearing about the Supreme Lord, what happens? Shrunvata Shraddhaya Nityam Granatastha Swacheshritam Kalena Na Adidirigena Bhagavan Vishadevudi. Whoever hears about the Supreme Lord, very soon, along with the sound vibration, the Supreme Personality of God about whom we hear also enters through our ears, enters into our heart. And he makes residence within the heart of the hearer. After how long? Na ati dirigena, not after a very long time. That means very soon. Bhagavan Vishadevudi. What happens after Bhagavan enters into the heart? Pravishta Karnarandrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham Dunoti Samalam Krishna Saralasya Yata Sharat. He will clear the heart of all the anarthas. Dhunoti, Dona, completely cleanses. And then the heart looks like the crystal clear water in the Sharat season. During the rainy season, because of the rains, everywhere water will be muddy. When the rain stops, after 10 days, if you allow the water to stabilize, within 10 days, all the dust will settle at the bottom. And the water becomes crystal clear, transparent. One can see what is there in the ground base. Like that, after the Supreme Lord enters into the heart becomes thoroughly cleansed. Then the Atma can clearly see the Bhagavan who enters into that heart. अभी हम देख सकते क्या? परमात्मा को भी नहीं देख सकते, भगवान को दूर बात है. But then the devotee can see the Supreme Lord. Afterwards, this devotee is not worried about any other material ambitions, material goals. This devotee is compared to a merchant who traveling to foreign wide after earning sufficient amount of wealth. When he comes home, he does not again go and work for earning more wealth. Once he gets the necessary amount of wealth, he is satisfied. You don't have to go again to the market and earn more wealth. So like that, when the devotee gets the Supreme Lord in the core of the heart, then what else the devotee wants? After attaining the Lord, there is nothing more to attain. The devotee becomes completely pacified. Dautatma Purusha Krishna Padamulam na munchati. You will never give up the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Mukta Sarva Pariklesha, having given up all the miseries of this material world, Pantasva Sharanamrita, just like the merchant comes home and remains at home after earning sufficient amount of wealth. Having stated this, having inspired Sukadeva Goswami, so my dear sir, by hearing this is what happens, I want to come to this point. Therefore, speak. About what? Parikshit Maharaj, so many questions. The entire chapter is all about so many questions about bhakti, karma, jnana, yoga, devotees, varnashrama duties, and about the universe, creation, secondary creation, primary creation, this, that, this. Like that, so many questions he asks. After asking all the questions, at the end he says that Sarvam etaccha Bhagavan pruchato me anupurvasha tatvato rahasi arahasi udahritam prapannaya mahamune. Please speak everything that I have asked you in truth. Also, what I have asked you, if it is related to Supreme Lord. Speak everything connection to Supreme Lord. Then he says that Atra pramanam hi Bhagavan parameshti yatatma bhu apare chanutishtanti purvesham purvajai kritam. Says that among all sages you are the authority like Brahma. Parameshtina. Sukadeva Goswami might say that why are you asking all these things to me? You ask some other better person. He says, I don't see anyone better than you. You are like Parameshti Yatatma Bhu. Just like Parameshti, Lord Brahma, who appeared from the navel of Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu. You are like that. You are all knowing. I don't have to go here and there. While others among the previous sages perform actions in accordance to what was done by the previous knowers. Everyone else in this world follows Brahma. They learned everything from Brahma and they are speaking. But you are like Brahma. Like Brahma is the first knower, you are also the another first knower. I don't have to go to any second, third knower. So you only speak. Why you want me to go here and there? So like that. You are like Brahma, who by the mercy of the Lord became knowledgeable of the meaning of the self-evident Vedas. Others undertake actions after studying it, not one time, multiple times, and seeing what was done by previous knowers. All others are secondary teachers, but you are the primary teachers. Name asava parayanti brahman anashanadapi pibantu achyuta piyusham anyatra kupita dvija. Wait. Sukadeva Goswami says that. So you are asking so many questions, it will take a lot of time. Are you not feeling hungry? Are you not feeling thirsty? Then Parikshit Maharaj says, no. I am not feeling hunger and thirst. By hearing your Krishna Katha, I am nourished. Pibanto achyuta piyusham, having by drinking the nectar of words that you are speaking, I am completely nourished. I don't need any food and water. Therefore, quickly tell me about Lord Krishna's pastimes. All the details you speak. Don't worry about taking break in between. Just continue on. So like that. Then, finally, that's how he inspired Sukadeva Goswami to speak more and more. Then Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Sa upamantrito rajana katayam iti taspate brahmarato brusham prito Vishnurata samshadi. Being requested by the king, who is known as Vishnurata, who is protected by Tasman namna Vishnurata iti loka bhavishyati. First canto mein bataya tha. He will be known as Vishnurata, protected by Vishnu. In that assembly about Krishna's pastimes, Sukadeva Goswami was greatly pleased. Sukadeva Goswami is known as Brahmarata. Previously he was on Brahman platform. He does not want to come out of the womb. He said only if that person comes with the master of the Maya, I will come out. Then that master came. That is Krishna. But first Sukadeva Goswami was in Brahman platform. He was absolute truth. He was Brahman. That's why he was called as Brahmarata. So it's like that. So Brahmarata will be pleased. He is pleased and will be speaking to Vishnu Rata. Praha Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. Brahmane Bhagavat Proktam Brahma Kalpa Upagate. Then Sukadeva Goswami spoke the scripture known as Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Purana, which is the essence of all the Vedas, Brahma Samhitam. Okay, which was spoken by the Lord to Brahma. Brahmane Bhagavat Proktam. This what Sukadeva Goswami is going to speak is not something self-manufactured. Instead, that was originally spoken by Lord Narayana to Brahma. When? In the first Kalpa, Brahma Kalpa. When Brahma appeared first time. When Brahma was born 50 years back. On the first day of Brahma's appearance, this Bhagavatam was spoken to Brahma. Brahma Kalpa. That is known as Brahma Kalpa. Sukadeva Goswami then commenced to give the answers by reciting the Bhagavatam. Brahma Kalpa means the first day of Brahma. He spoke this Bhagavatam which was first spoken by the Lord unto Brahma. Yad Parikshit Rishabha Pandavana Manuprachati Anupurvena Tassarvam Akyatum Upachakrame. Sukadeva Goswami began to explain according to the topic all that King Parikshit asked. The best of the Pandavas had asked. Sukadeva Goswami is going to answer all questions of Parikshit Maharaj. Maybe in sequence, may not be in sequence. But the sequence is according to topic, not according to the order of the questions. So he is going to answer all questions of Parikshit Maharaj starting from the next chapter till the end of the Bhagavatam. Not third canto. 12th, not in the 12th canto. 12th canto, 5th chapter tak. Baad mein Sukadeva Goswami speaks. So these questions are answered in this part of the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So what is your question? It's okay. Slide gone.
So you are like Brahma, who by the mercy do not become knowledgeable. And why actually Parikshit Maharaj is actually telling that you are like Brahma?
Brahma is the Adi Guru, na? Brahma is the Adi Guru of everyone.
Okay.
Sukadeva Goswami is also like that. Sukadeva Goswami is as knowledgeable as Brahma.
And another statement, among all the other sages, you are the authority.
As your knowledge is in Paramatma.
This is in connection with the other sages who are actually assembling with respect to that.
Not only that, any other teacher in the entire universe, Brahma's sons, their son, any other teacher who are there around, he might be hinting. Sukadeva Goswami might be saying, why are you asking me? You go and ask Krupacharya, who is your spiritual master. You go and ask Daumya, who is the spiritual master of your grandfathers. You can ask others. You can ask Vasudev. Why are you asking me like that? So, anticipating that, is saying that. Not only here, he also told the same thing in the 5th chapter also, 5th or 4th chapter. In the 4th chapter also, Parikshit Maharaj said same thing. After asking the questions about the creation, he actually says, Vichishitam etan me bravitu bhagavan yata shabde brahmana nishnata parasmincha bhavan kalu. You are just as Krishna himself, and you have realized Krishna. Shabde nishnata brahmana nishnata parasmincha bhavan kalu. Parasmincha bhavan kalu means you are non-different from that Supreme Lord, who is called as Para. Here he compared him as good as you are as good as Krishna. Here he is comparing you are as good as Brahma. It is not exaggeration, because when a
with the Hare
devotee,
Krishna, you can give Krishna.
like that, a
And,
devotee will have all the qualities and all the knowledge that Lord possesses. Etamam prapadanti tam seva bhajam. It's like that. Okay, that was all about 8th chapter. So many questions are asked. Answers will be given the rest of the part of the Bhagavatam. So now the 9th chapter is answers by citing the Lord's version, the manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 9th chapter, the first and second questions of Parikshit Maharaj are answered, and the 4 basic verses of Bhagavatam are spoken. So this is the breakup of the this is a big chapter. We will discuss slowly. In first 3 verses, answer to Parikshit Maharaj's first question, which he asked in 287, about the cause of the soul, which is spiritual, accepting a body that is material. How can a spirit soul accept the material body? How come the relationship comes about? And 4 to 8, setting the platform for Brahma, Lord Narayana, Brahma Narayana conversation. And Brahma darshan of Maha-Vaikuntha, Lord Narayana expresses his pleasure and invites Brahma to ask for benedictions. Then Brahma makes an inquiry. Lord Narayana, in response, speaks Chatishloki Bhagavatam. Okay. Then Chatishloki Bhagavatam further expanded in Parampara. Brahma speaks it to Nardamuni, Nardamuni speaks it to Vyasa, Vyasa speaks to Sukadeva Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. And Sukadeva Goswami will speak to sages of Naimisharanya later on. So like that. Now, the first 3 verses gives an answer to one of the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atmamayamrute Rajan Parasyanubhavatmanam Nagate Nartha Sambandha Swapna Drashtur Ivanjasa.
Sukadeva said, the relationship of the jiva with his body and senses does not actually take place through avidya shakti of the Lord, because the jiva is superior to matter. Being full of knowledge, he is like the dreamer seeing his dream body.
Swapna Drashtur Iva Anjasa. This is a phrase which is used in the Bhagavatam for many times. The material existence of a living entity who is spiritual is like Swapna. Currently, all of us are going through a long dream. As soon as dream ends, we realize it has no factual existence. As long as we are in the dream, we see everything as a real. So like that. Here says that Artha Sambandha Na Gatena. A relationship of the jiva with the material body and the material senses does not actually take place through avidya shakti of the Lord, because the jiva is superior to matter, being full of knowledge. Jiva is spirit, body is matter. There cannot be any connection between matter and spirit. So one may say that no, it is by avidya shakti the jiva is identifying with the material body. Currently all of us are saying I am this, I am that, I am that. But that is all not correct. The jiva never ever has any connection to the material body. How can you say that? The so-called connection what we are experiencing with the material body is like a dream. After the dream gets completed, that the dreamer has any connection with the dreaming body? So that's how Sukadeva Goswami says.
So the second and the third statement says that actually there is no relationship through avidya shakti of the Lord. But is there any other shakti of the Lord through which actually there will be a connection?
No. If you remember what we discussed in the 5th chapter, Did we discuss विद्या अविद्या के बारे में हम कुछ बात किया? 6th चैप्टर में बहुत डिस्कस किया. हाँ, 6th चैप्टर में we discussed about vidya and avidya too much. What vidya is all about, what avidya is all about. Vidya actually, avidya actually binds us with avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, 5 kinds of concepts which binds us. Huh?
We did not discuss.
We did not discuss.
All these 5 things through which
एकपाद विभूति, द्विपाद विभूति के बाद, त्रिपाद विभूति के बाद we discussed about vidya and avidya. It was there.
The 5 things which you told through which in which what are these things?
Vidya, avidya, asmita,
Asmita,
raga, dvesha, abhinivesha.
Vidya will get to discuss.
Okay. Vidya, avidya binds us with a material identity. Currently, we are living in this body. We identify ourselves as human being. That is a temporary identity for the soul, who is eternal. That itself is avidya. So that's what I'm saying, na? So, but as long as you are living in that body, you are identifying with the body. So how can you say that there is no sambandha? Body ke sath sambandha nahi. Then Sukadeva Goswami says, no, not like that. It is like a dream. As long as you are in the dream, you are identifying with the dream body. But is it real? Once you come out of the dream, it has no factual basis for that. So like that, currently we may think that avidya might be giving us a misidentification of the body in which we are living. But that also is not complete. As soon as we come out of the body, that becomes false. So like that.
Statement actually says that it is not through avidya shakti of the Lord, because the jiva is superior to matter. The reason which is actually said, it will not have a relationship. The jiva and the jada, matter will not have relation, because jiva is superior to matter. So it cannot actually come under, it cannot identify with matter.
Normal understanding is, it is because of avidya we identify the material body.
Yes.
We identify the material body, but actually what happens is, there will be no relationship with the jiva. No relationship for the jiva with the material body. Though the philosophers may say that it is due to avidya, the eternal jiva after coming into material world identifies with the material body and lives a life of material entanglement. That's what the philosophers say. In spite of living like that, in spite of living with that conceptions, that still there will be no relationship between the soul and the material body. Because soul is spirit, matter is, body is the matter. Then what do you mean? That so-called relationship with the body is all about like the dream experience. As long as one is going through the dream, one is identified with the dream body. But as soon as you come out of the dream, what is the reality? There is no connection with the dreamer to the dream body. Both are different, both are separate. So like that.
So this actually is in concurrence with what we actually say, the whole material world is a reality but a temporary.
Of course. It is a reality but temporary.
So now when we actually say it is like the dream, it's like a dream. So when we actually say it as a dream, it is no, it's not a reality. And in that way,
it is
we are
temporary reality. It is a temporary reality. From the eternal point of view, it is not a permanent relationship. Temporarily there is a relationship, but it does not exist permanently.
The next question comes, if it is a temporary reality, how did actually jiva identify or is covered by the matter?
Because we willingly came here. Jiva comes by one's own choice under the shelter of Prakriti.
Yes, but when we are talking about the mechanism, how it actually got born, that is a question which Parikshit Maharaj asked. So here we are actually saying that through avidya shakti, it is not. till now I was having the understanding through avidya shakti only the jiva is actually identifying it itself with the body and senses. But here,
See, wait.
Yeah.
There are two things. What do you mean by relationship? What do you mean by identification? Relationship means proper tight bonding. Identity means for the time being you are identified with that. For the time being you are identifying with that role. It's like playing a drama. When you play a drama, you play the role. And after the drama is over, you are different, the role is different. There is only a temporary identity. But sambandha means in the drama, you have somebody else as a wife, somebody else as children. But in your real life, they are not your permanent relations. In real life, you have somebody else as the relationship. Something like that. So that is understanding.
So if we take the very same example, then what is the state of consciousness of a person who actually gets bound? The one which you said, who just identifies like in a drama, that is like who is completely unaffected, who is like a liberated soul, who comes into this world and plays like a drama and he goes back.
Yes.
So that is like identifying with a particular role, but not getting affected by that.
Even it does not identify also.
Correct. Even it does
He
not
knew that this is a role.
One
who does not know this is a role, he thinks it is he.
So then the next question comes, when a person thinks that it is he, then what is that Shakti which is actually making him think that it is he?
Avidya Shakti.
But here it is saying through Avidya Shakti.
Prabhuji, false identity comes with Avidya Shakti, but not a bonding, not the relationship. In spite of being identifying oneself with the material body, sometimes as human being, sometimes as devata, still there will be no eternal relationship with the body and the soul. Body and soul cannot be tightly related with each other. Both are entirely different. Both are foreign to each other. Body is a foreign object for the soul, soul is a foreign object for the body. But temporarily, the soul is identified with the body. It's like that. Try to see relationship as a different, separate from identity. Don't see both. The false identification is due to avidya. But there will be no tight bonding. There will be no permanent relationship between the body and the soul. That's what Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Temporarily, the soul might identify with the body, but it is not a permanent relationship. It is only temporary. Here we are not talking about a ignorant person. Here we are talking, the discussion is between two highly evolved intelligent beings. So they are discussing it. The common fools, the common people might say that avidya, because of avidya I am bound in this material world. Even for that also they need to be intelligent enough. Otherwise, the normal people, listen to people think that what do you mean by avidya, vidya, soul, heel, pa, chalo. I am this only. But at least people in the knowledgeable, those who know vidya, they say that avidya causes this bondage. But much elevated than that, the soul is never has any relationship with the material bodies. It is simply a witness. The witness is moving from one species to other species, that's all. Soul is not doing anything. It will come. Don't stop here. Let us go. In the next two verses, the subject will be elaborated. The question asked in verse 287, whether the jiva's relationship with the body is with or without cause, is answered now. Whether there is any cause for jiva's relationship with the body or not. That's what question. A relationship of the jiva with the body and senses does not actually occur through the beginningless avidya shakti of the Lord, just as there is no relation of the dreamer with the dream body except through ignorance. Only an ignorant person will identify with the dream body. A knowledgeable person will never identify with the dream body. Any person, common person, after the dream is over, when he comes out of the dream, in the dream, he might be a great tiger. After the dream is over, still he continues to say that I am tiger, I am tiger. What will other things? What other people think? Pagal ho gaya kya? Are you gone mad, crazy? So like that. There will be no relationship between those two. Dream आया, dream चला गया. बाद में कुछ संबंध नहीं आपसे उसको. It's like that. Because the jiva is superior to the body, being composed of knowledge. Jiva is always superior to the material body. Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna says that aparayam mitasu anna prakritim vidyame param. There is one prakriti, para prakriti, there is other one is apara prakriti. The relationship occurs by the inconceivable energy of the Lord, which is expert at doing the impossible. Then the question is that is there some sambandha between the body and soul? Yes, it is there. But that is not due to avidya. That is due to Lord's inconceivable energy. So, who can do the impossible possible? So, next, the same thing further continues in the next verse. So, what is the result of that sambandha, which is done by Supreme Lord? What is the result of that misidentification, which is done by avidya shakti? That is mentioned now. Bahurupai vabhati mayaya bahurupaya ramamano guneshvasya mamaham iti manyate.
The jiva appears to be of many different forms to Maya because of the variety of dispositions of the jiva. The jiva enjoying the gunas thinks in terms of me and mine.
Bahurupa ivabhati maya bahurupaya. The Maya can display many forms. The Maya has that ability to manifest many forms in front of the Jiva. When Jiva sees all those forms, Jiva thinks that, okay, I have so many avenues to enjoy. I have so many varieties to enjoy. So Jiva tries to enjoy in a variety of ways. Sometimes as a human, sometimes entering into a human form, sometimes entering into a tiger form, sometimes entering into a cow form, sometimes entering into a devata form, sometimes entering into asura form, sometimes this form, that form. All these forms are given by Maya. The Jiva appears to be of many different forms through Maya because of the variety of the dispositions of the Jiva. The Jiva enjoying the gunas thinks in terms of me and mine. Because Maya provides different forms and Jiva has different ways to enjoy. Does Jiva wants to enjoy? What is the natural quality of Jiva? I want to enjoy, but he wants to have variety of enjoyments. So Maya provides variety. But while enjoying in that variety forms of Maya, the Jiva go through the concept of Aham Mameti. This is me, these are mine. This is me, these are mine. When one is in tiger form, this is me and this is wife, children, friend and relatives. There is always Aham Mameti concept. In the human beings also Aham Mameti concept is there. Anywhere, in whichever form one goes, in that form there is always the concept of Aham Mameti. That's how Jiva fulfills multifarious desires. What happens to the Jiva when he has a relationship with the body? Through unexpected association with Maya. It is by Lord's inconceivable energy that though the Jiva is superior energy, comes in contact with Maya, which is inferior energy. After coming in contact with Maya, what happens? Since Jiva is always pleasure seeking, in variety ways, Maya provides variety of means for enjoyment. So while accepting those variety of means, the Jiva thinks oneself as Aham Mameti, Aham Mameti, Aham Mameti. So like that. The Jiva appears to have many forms such as infant, adolescent, devata or human bodies. This is not actually the fact because the Jiva is a spiritual particle. The many forms occur because of the many dispositions of the Jiva. Jiva does not have many forms. Jiva only having a desire to enjoy many different ways. So that is facilitated by providing variety of forms by Maya. It is said, Yaya Kshetrajna Shaktistha Taratamyena Vartate. The Jiva exists with differences. The Jiva feels oneself different because of the different Kshetra. The Kshetrajna feels differently at different times because the kshetra is changing. We ourselves, when we were small kids, we were thinking ourselves as infant, then small boy, school going children, college going student, university student, then adult, after marriage, husband, then after children, father, after grandchildren, grandfather. It's body changing. So like that. So in one body also there are many forms, and with respect to many bodies also many forms. That is the art of Maya, providing various means for various types of enjoyment. This is what happens when Jiva comes in contact with the Maya. Then what happens? The Jiva, by the influence of Maya, appears to be of different form, thus enjoying the gunas. He thinks in terms of me and mine. So by thinking aham mameti, what happens? Erhivava ahimni sve parasmin kala mayayo rameta guna sammoha takto daste tato tadobadem.
Certainly, when the jiva becomes attached to the great Lord, who is different from time and Maya, having given up both time and Maya, freed from religion, he remains detached.
Here two things happen. After coming in contact with Maya, the Maya provides different forms. In one lifespan, as a human being, we have different forms. Infant, small boy, school going children, college going student, university student, husband, father, grandfather, like that. These are different stages in one species only. These are all due to the effect of Kala. Kala, because of Kala's influence, we go through the 6 changes. Taking birth, growth, giving byproducts, staying for some time, dwindling, and vanishing. All these are the effect of Kala. The effect of Maya is to move from one species to other species. Currently, human beings. Next life, animal. Next life, bird. Next life, this. Next life, that is the effect of Maya. The Jiva, after having come to material world, will be subjected to the influence of Kala and Maya. Thus, one's temporary existence in this material world. Similarly, when Jiva becomes attracted to Supreme Lord, the Jiva can go to spiritual world and continue his existence in the spiritual world. It is only by attachment to the body we are continuing this material world. When we develop attachment to the spirit, Supreme Lord, we will have spiritual body and stay in the spiritual world. So like that. Suddenly, when the Jiva becomes attached to the Supreme Lord, who is different from time and Maya, having given up both time and Maya, that means having given up this material world, free of illusion, the Jiva remains detached and becomes qualified to go back to Godhead. So, for a detached Jiva, is there any sambandha with the material body and the soul? For a detached Jiva, any sambandha with the material body? That's why it says that. Though a conditioned Jiva may feel that there is sambandha with the material body, but since a detached Jiva will never feel that there is sambandha with the material body, the relationship with the material body does not exist.
The first answer which has been given that is actually in connection with the person
who is detached, who is in knowledge. So it's like that. Just as Jiva endures countless births through the unexpected influence of Maya, by the unexpected influence of Bhakti, by the appearance of Prema, the Jiva terminates those countless births. By the mercy of Bhakti, by the arisal of Prema, one can stop cycle of material existence. Certainly, the Jiva should enjoy in his glory different from time and Maya. In the spiritual world, there is no influence of time and there is no influence of Maya. Kindly remember this. These two will come at many places in Bhagavatam. The influence of time is 6 changes in one particular body. Influence of Maya is changing different bodies. And these two will not take place in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, a living entity is eternally in one form only. It does not change forms. And within that form only, it does not grow. He remains there only. That's why it is called Nityalila. If there is a boy, he remains boy eternally. If there is a youthful person, remains youthful eternally in the spiritual world. It does not change. So that is a distinction between material world and spiritual world. So having given up the material enjoyment, the enjoyment of the body, the shelter of me and mine, and replaced that with the real shelter of possessiveness, the Lord, having a great form because of possessing the great qualities. Here, as long as we are in the material world, we are subjected to time and Maya, and we have the concept of me and mine. When the same Jiva practices bhakti, comes to prema, there is no concept of me and mine. There is only one concept: I am yours. I am das. I am yours. In the material world, we have the concept of me and mine. In the spiritual world, I am your das. So that is possessiveness. I belong to you, you belong to me. That is a possessiveness. So having a great form, Swarupya, because of possessing great qualities. The Lord possesses very great qualities and great form. So with that form, the Jiva identifies as I am yours and you are mine. Possessiveness. So this is what happens when one becomes attached to Supreme Lord. The Lord is devoid of the transformations created by time and the elements such as Mahatattva created by Maya. Kala Mayayo Parasmin. Jiva should become attached to that form. Lord's form is never subjected to the effect of Kala and the effects of Maya. And a Jiva is supposed to be subjected to attachment to that kind of Lord's form. Then one can be freed from the material existence. So like that, one question is answered in these 3 verses. In other statements, 1, 11, 6, 2, 9, 10, as well, these qualities are also understood to be possessed by his Dhamma and followers. Whatever qualities Lord has, the Vaikuntha Dham also has the same qualities. And Vaikuntha Vasis also have same qualities. Attainment of bhakti is called unexpected in order to show that bhakti is necessary for the deliverance of the Jiva enjoying in the material world, having given up changes created by the time and bodies created by the Maya. Having given up the changes in one particular species created by the time, and having given up the bodies created by Maya, that kind of Jiva remains unattached. He remains udasin. It is stated, Eya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute nartam tatkritam chapi paddhate. Paro api manute artam. Even though he is superior to the material body, still the Jiva identifies with the material body and performs activities accordingly. That is called Vanartha. In order to deliver us from that Anartha Upashamanam Sakshat, Bhakti Yoga Madhusya, the only means is Bhakti. In order to educate us about Bhakti, Srila Vyasdeva compiled Bhagavatam. So that's how Bhagavatam appears. So this is about the first question asked by Parikshit Maharaj. So like that. So now, in order to answer your remaining questions, I need to speak to you Bhagavatam. So what is Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam was the talk given by Lord Narayana to Brahma. When and where and how, it is all will be discussed in the coming verses. Atmatattva vishuddhartam yadaha bhagavan rutam brahmane darshan rupam avyalika vrutadrita.
Worshipped by sincere devotion, revealing his true spiritual form. The Lord spoke to Brahma the 4 essential verses of Maha-Vaikuntha in order to give knowledge about himself.
When we become attached to Supreme Lord, the previous verse said that when we become attached to Supreme Lord, we can be freed from the influence of time and Maya. But when we can become attached to Supreme Lord? When we know about him. जब तक वो कौन है पता नहीं चलेगा क्यों अटैचमेंट होगा. So Lord Brahma is the first knower. Who revealed Lord Brahma the knowledge about himself, about the Lord? Lord only. Because Brahma is the first living entity, there was no one else to talk to him. So Lord himself revealed to him about himself. So like that. How did he gain that knowledge from the Lord? By his sincere devotion. Similarly, by following the footsteps of Lord Brahma, when we also exhibit our sincere devotional service, we will be given the same knowledge about the Supreme Lord.
This universe, the Brahma is a devotee. So Lord spoke his knowledge to Brahmaji. And I have heard that in many of their universes, Brahmaji is not a devotee.
Hmm.
So the universes in which the Brahma is not a devotee,
Hmm.
how the knowledge of the Lord is then given to Jivas. Is there any?
Hiranyakashipu is not a devotee, but Hiranyakashipu's son Prahlad Maharaj is a, he will be given.
So through not exactly through Brahma, but through other entities.
In other universes, Brahma may not be devotee means Brahma may not be a Madhurya Bhakta. Brahma may be a Jnani, Brahma may be a Yogi, Brahma may be a Karmi, like that. Not devotee means not anything else. Not a devotee means he may not be a Madhurya Bhakta. He can be Jnana, Jnani, Yogi, or Karmi. He may be more interested in that other processes than Bhakti.
So he will propagate that,
Obviously.
but he will minimize the importance of Bhakti also. That may be possible.
He will not do, he will not speak, he will be just indifferent to it. See, in the material world, in order to showcase our best, our thing, we minimize other things. This is not the case everywhere. One need to speak about one's subject thoroughly. More time, that is enough. We don't have to minimize other things. That is local, that is low, so-called low quality. So Brahman wanted to minimize about bhakti. He just does not speak about bhakti. Getting? Minimizing other things is the quality of a Kalyuga person. So it's like that.
Understand that Chaturmukhi Brahma of our universe is
Hmm.
a Madhurya.
Generally, what we know about Brahma is all about is Ashwara Bhakta. But he also has Madhurya tinge. That's why Brahma becomes Brahmagiri. Na? He says, I don't have any qualification to become Madhurya Bhakta. I just need the dust from the gopis' lotus feet. Even Brahma also wanted to become a Tiruna in Vrindavan. Lord Krishna did not give that blessing. But when he prayed to Radharani, I want to become the mountain. Radharani says, okay, you can become mountain. So the 4 mountains are there na? In Vrindavan area and the Barsana area. There are 4 heads of Brahma. Ab jaake hai na? Vrindavan jaake hai na? In Bhartana, there are 4 mountains. Mangad, Dangad, Vilasgad. 4 mountains are corresponding to the 4 heads of Brahma. He wanted to become the mountain because he wanted to receive the dust of gopis. So it's like that. From all practical purposes, he is Ashwara Bhakta. At the core of the heart, he wants to become Madhurya Bhakta. Can he become? Aapka permission hai? So it is like that. What is that which is beyond time and Maya, to which one should become attached? Who is he? The Lord spoke for giving knowledge and about his own nature. Or he spoke for the purification of the components like chitta of the jiva. So who is that person? That person is known as Bhagavan. What did he do? He spoke he gave that knowledge about his own nature, Atma Tattva, the knowledge about Lord's own transcendental nature. Or he spoke for the purification of the components like chitta of the jiva. Whatever knowledge which Lord spoke to Brahma, hearing which, following which, one's chitta will be purified. Chetu Darpana Marjana will be happen. Showing Brahma his form, which was true or spiritual, he spoke the 4 verses of Bhagavatam. What is the cause? He was worshipped with sincere bhakti, avyalika vrata, unpretentious bhakti. Lord Brahma performed without Bhakti without any ulterior motives. That's why Lord showed himself, Lord showed his own abode, and then he spoke Chatushloki Bhagavatam. The meaning is expressed by Sridhar Swami, saying that what did he say? The jiva is related with a body of ignorance by avidya. The jiva is related with the body of ignorance by avidya. The body is full of ignorance. By avidya shakti, jiva is related with the body. But yogamaya of the Lord, the Lord's form, yogamaya of the Lord's form of knowledge and past tense appeared. But by yogamaya, Lord's form and Lord's past tense will appear. By avidya shakti of Mahamaya, the jiva's existence in the material world appears. Our manifestation in the body in the form of human, next time some other else, these are all manifestation by Mahamaya, avidya shakti. When Lord appears in avataras, that is due to yogamaya shakti. This great difference is expressed here. So that is the understanding. This answers the question about the difference between Lord's body and Jiva's body, which Brahma asks in 288. In 288, the question is about is the body of the Lord and the body of Brahma and the body of Jiva, all three are same or different? Says no, they are not same. They are different. The body of Jiva comes from Avidya Shakti. The body of the Lord comes from Yogamaya Shakti. So like that. So Brahmane darshayam rupam avyalika vratadrita. So Lord Brahma performed avyalika vrata. As a result of that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gave darshan of his own transcendental abode and his own transcendental form. When, where, how, why, such kind of questions might come. Now they are narrated. Sa adidevo jagatam paro guru swadish namastaya shishurukshaya ikshata tam nadyagacha drushamatra sammatam prapancha nirmana vidiryaya bhavet.
Brahma, the original Devata, the instructor of bhakti for the world, situated on his lotus, considered how to carry out creation. He could not attain the proper knowledge by which the universe could be created.
Here the situation is Brahma, Adi Devata, the original Devata among all the Devatas, who is the instructor of Bhakti, Jagatam Paro Guru, who is the instructor of Bhakti, who is the instructor of Ashtanga Yoga, who is the instructor of Jnana, who is the instructor of Karma, who is the instructor of everything that is there for us. That is the position of Brahma, is the teacher of everyone, Adi Guru. Situated on his own lotus, considered how to carry out the creation. Sisrikshaya Akshata. Lord Brahma appeared with the purpose of creation. So after his appearance, when he was there on the lotus flower, on top of the lotus, he does not know what to do. At least he had known that he has to do some creation, but he does not know how to do it. So he wanted proper knowledge about the process of creation, how to do, what to do, etc. He could not attain the proper knowledge by which the universe could be created. Prapancha nirmana vidir bhavet. Na adyagachat. Prapancha nirmana vidir na bhavet. He does not know the procedure of creating the universe. He was blank. Not only the Lord's form, but his abode and his devotees are also beyond the time and Maya. To show this fact, he begins to praise the Lord in 4 verses. 5 to 8 talks about the glories of the Supreme Lord. Brahma, the instructor about the secret teachings of Bhakti, was situated on a lotus. The lotus manifested from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Brahma appeared on top of that. He was alone. Previously, he was submerged in the water in order to find his residence. No. Previously, Lord Brahma and other living entities entered into the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, which is inside the water. Radbar soya na? Of course, here it is the very first time he was born. But normally, every night, Brahma sleeps in the abdomen of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Garbhodaksha himself is in the Garbhodak ocean, within the waters. So that is indicated. Previously, he was submerged in the waters in order to find out his residence. He was simply sleeping. Then, after he became situated on the lotus, he considered so there is some misunderstanding. Actually, it is like that. Lord Brahma appears from the lotus flower. Then he was trying to find out the source of himself. He went into the lotus flower, went into the deep within the waters. He could not find. Then again he came back to the lotus flower. That is what is indicated here. He considered how to carry out the creation. He could not understand the knowledge in the matter of creation by which there would be a method of constructing the universe. First of all, when he appeared on top of the lotus, he wanted to find out where did the lotus come, where did he come from. He went into the lotus tube, the lotus stem is there, na? He went down below the water, but he could not understand where from the lotus is coming. When he came to the top of the lotus, he was thinking that, okay, I need to do some creation, but I don't know how to do. I don't know what to do. So he was thinking like that. Then what happened? Sachintayandvi aksharam ekadambasi upashrunodvi gundviditam vacho vibhu sparsheshu yasodasame vimshakam nishkinchananam drupayad danam vidu.
While Brahma was contemplating how to carry out the creation of the universe, he heard twice close by, in the water, a word of 2 syllables, ta, pa, composed of the 16th and 21st sounds of the alphabet, which is known as the wealth of the devotees with no material.
So the sequence is like this. From the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, there appeared lotus. On top of that, Brahma appeared. Brahma searched for the source of the lotus and source of himself. He could not find. He came to the top of the lotus. Then he heard 2 syllables. What are they? Shodasham and Ekavimsham. The 16th syllable and a 21st syllable. Alphabets yaad hai kya abhi bhi? Batao. हाँ. Hmm. 16th and 21st. No, what is the 16th one? You should stop 16th. Yeah. Ta. Ta. Huh? And 21st one? Papa Babama. Ta pa. He heard 2 syllables 2 times. Ta pa. Ta pa. He heard 2 times. 2 syllables and 2 times. While contemplating how to carry out the creation on the ocean, he heard nearby, in the water or from the water, a word of 2 syllables repeated twice. From the water, he heard something about tapa, tapa, 2 times. When it is said once, he could have ignored, but since it is said 2 times, he understood that, okay, this is something serious. It was told 2 times, I need to do something. The word is explained indirectly, just like the mantras. Sparsha refers to the consonants from ka to ma in Sanskrit alphabets. The 16th consonant is ta. The 21st consonant is pa. This forms the word tapa. This singular verb meaning perform meditation or austerity. This was spoken 2 times. By speaking tapa, tapa 2 times, Lord is indicating that plus, if you want to know what you are supposed to do, then perform tapasya.
How does he know? As soon as he was taken back, tapa means actually a doing austerity. As the process of austerity, how to perform the austerity.
But he performed it. That means you know about it. And how does he know that he has to create the universe? Brahma appearing from the transcendental form of Garbhodaksha Vishnu directly. He is not appearing from the womb of a mother. So there should be some difference between him and the small child and him. And they don't appear like a small boy, they appear like a youthful personalities. So they are knowledgeable. Mahabharata you read? Draupadi also appeared from fire as a youthful girl. Does she have any knowledge or she was supposed to be told everything? That she was taught all those things. Why not required? If Draupadi is not an ordinary woman, then what to speak of Brahma? Is Brahma an ordinary person? Then can't you understand tapa means tapa? Tapasya? So it's like that. And this tapasya is called as the wealth of the Brahmanas. Tapasya is the wealth of the Brahmanas. A true Brahmana is not interested in accumulating material wealth. They are only interested in accumulating more and more tapabal. Tapasya, 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 tapasya.
From the navel of the Lord, the lotus and lotus stem, the lotus, everything was created. So that is not material element, but lotus and stem, that is spiritual.
Lotus is made up of 24 elements. The entire lotus is made up of 24 material elements. Remember all the 24? Are they not? 24.
Yeah, common lotus.
Then, right, Lord Vishnu. So,
Our common lotus also made up of 24 elements. This lotus in the pond also made up of 24 elements. That lotus also made up of 24 elements.
Question
Ah.
is during the creation, there was no mention of this lotus.
Now, coming now,
Yes.
this is secondary creation. No.
Once actually, Bhaktacharya Swami Maharaj was giving a lecture. He told why the Lord is always compared with the lotus. Because the reason he was actually giving is because the lotus is not material. Because it is before the creation. So that is why the Lord is actually compared with the lotus.
If you remember what we discussed in 5th chapter and 6th chapter, in the 5th chapter, Mahavishnu, when he wanted to create, Prakriti came out. Glancing Prakriti impregnated her with all the Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti. Then 24 elements formed. Then he combined 24 elements, formed unlimited Romandas, which are floating in the Karma ocean. Then he entered as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Okay? Then what happened will be told in the 10th chapter. In between, some story is missing. That will be mentioned in the 10th chapter. But what does he do? He created Garbhodak ocean. He went inside the water. He was taking test. Okay? Then, when the right time comes for the creation, he creates a lotus. Lotus appears in the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And then, on top of the lotus, Lord Brahma appears. After appearing, what did you do? You are trying to search out where from the lotus came, where from he came. He tried, nothing, not much use. Then he heard tapa, tapa. Since it was told 2 times, he took it seriously and performed tapasya. Okay? Nishamya tadvakriti drikshayadisho vilokya tatranyadapashyamana swadishnamastaya vimrushya tadditam tapasupadishtayvada demana.
Hearing those words, he looked in all directions, desiring to see the speaker of those words, but could not see anything except himself. He again sat on the lotus, and considering the instruction to be beneficial, he concentrated his mind on meditation as if personally instructed.
Since it is spoken 2 times, he understood that this is for my benefit only. Let me follow. Someone has clearly ordered me to perform austerity. It seems I am being directly ordered. Since it is told 2 times, he accepted the personal order. Then he performed tapasya. Considering that it was for his benefit, he then concentrated his mind on meditation. He began to perform meditation. Tapasya. Okay. How long he performed tapasya? Divyam sahasrabdamamoga darshana jita nilatma vijito bayendriya atapyatasma kilaloka-tapanam tapastapiyam tapatam tamahita.
Brahma, the best among the meditators, having fruitful vision, concentrating his mind controlling his pranas, action, senses, and knowledge senses, performed meditation, which would manifest all the planets for 1,000 celestial years.
So he performed tapasya for 1,000 celestial devata years. That's the time duration for which he performed tapasya. Brahma, the best among the meditators, tapiyam tapatam, having fruitful vision, amoga darshana, concentrating his mind, controlling his pranas, action senses, jnanindriyas, karmendriyas, perform meditation, which would manifest all the planets, the entire universe, for 1,000 celestial years. Divyam sahasrabdam. Whenever just sahasrabdam is human years, Divyam means devata years. According to devata years, he performed 1,000 celestial years of tapasya.
One day of Brahma is equal to how many celestial years?
You calculate. One day is equal to 1,000 chaturyugas. Okay, one chaturyuga is equal to 12,000 devata years.
One Chaturyuga is equal to
12,000 devata years.
One Chaturyuga.
Like that, 1,000 chaturyugas are there in one day of Brahma. So one day of Brahma is equal to 12 million devata years. 12 million devata years.
That is also the life of one devata.
No, one devata will live for one manvantara. One manvantara only. Akila loka tapanam means which manifests all the planets. Tapiyam tapatam means the greatest meditation among all the meditators. So basically, Brahma performed tapasya for 1,000 celestial years. The long tapasya. So what is the result of that long tapasya? So basically, 1,000 celestial is almost equal to one chaturyuga. He performed tapasya almost for one complete chaturyuga. One chaturyuga lasts for 1,000.
1,000 celestial years. Or
Yeah.
one Chaturyuga is 43,20,000 years.
12,000. Yeah, 12,000 chaturyugas. 1,000 means 1,000 only. 1,000. It is not 12,000. 12,000 is one chaturyuga. So he performed tapasya for about 1/10 of chaturyuga, something like that. Or one kaliyuga. Kaliyuga is equal to 1,200 devata years. Kaliyuga is equal to 1,200 devata years. Therefore, Brahma performed tapasya is equal to one kaliyuga time period.
Very short.
Hmm?
Very short.
हाँ आप करके देखो.
नहीं मतलब from Brahma's will to
स्टार्ट नहीं हो भी गुड अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम ओनली. एक दिन निर्जल एकादशी करने के लिए सर नीचे पैर ऊपर जाते हैं. कल फास्टिंग है, कल है परसों, कल है फास्टिंग है, फास्ट टिल नून. हमको याद रखना पड़ता है कल फास्टिंग है. उसके लिए मेंटली फिजिकली वी नीड टू प्रिपेयर टुडे ओनली. Thus, what is the result of the tapasya 1,000 chaturyugas, 1,000 celestial years will be mentioned from 9 to 18. Tasmai swalokam bhagavan sabhajita sandarshayam asaparam nayat param vyapeta sanklesha vimoha sadvasam swadishtavadbir vibuder abhishtutam.
The Lord, gratified by his worship, showed Brahma Maha-Vaikuntha, to which nothing is superior, which is free of suffering, confusion, and fear of offenses, and which is praised by the Devatas, who constantly see the sun.
Then, as a result of that tapasya, which is way of practicing bhakti, the Supreme Lord showed Brahma Maha-Vaikuntha. Swalokam Bhagavan Sabhajita. The Supreme Lord revealed his own abode to Brahma, and to which there is nothing superior. Paramna yat param. There is nothing superior, and which is free of all kinds of suffering, confusion, fear of offenses, and which is praised by the Devatas, who constantly see the self. The Lord showed Brahma Maha-Vaikuntha, to which nothing is superior, which is absolutely free of suffering, The kleshas are avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. In the spiritual world, there are no avidya. There is no avidya. There are no functions of avidya. The functions of avidya only exist in the material world. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha does not exist in the spiritual world. Only in the material world they are there. There is no intense mental confusion from not seeing the Lord. In the material world, we are not able to see the Lord. We are always doubtful if the Lord does exist really. Does God exist? But in the spiritual world, it is not like that. As soon as they think about the Lord, Lord will be there in front of them. There will be no such doubts. It is free of fear of offense in serving the Lord. Here we are always careful. Vaishno aparad, no aparad, seva aparad, kuch hota hai. But in the spiritual world, no such confusion. It is praised by Indra and others. Swadrishta Vadbir indicates that these persons have continual vision of the self. This negates the idea that Indra and others are purely material. The spiritual, the Maha-Vaikuntha is continuously praised by Indra and other devatas. Okay? Swadrishta Vadbi indicates that these persons have continual vision of the self. This negates the idea that Indra and others are purely material. Swadrishta Vadbir means Indra and other devatas, they actually are self-realized. They are always self-realized. They continuously see the vision of their self. So they also see the Vaikuntha and they also praise the Vaikuntha. And they are not purely material. Sometimes they may show some material lower consciousness, but they are not completely material. So that is understood. They are all ready to go back to God. All the main devatas, the principal devatas, after the tenure of their seva is over, they will go back to spiritual world. Madhvacharya, Srila Madhvacharya says this. You have any doubt? Go to Udupi and ask Srila Madhvacharya. Pravartate.
Is it specifically mentioning to a particular person who is occupying the post of Indra, or it is in general any person who occupies the post of an Indra after his tenure?
In general, they are devatas who are serving for a long time on behalf of the Supreme Lord. Obviously, will go back to God. It is a long service, na? छोटा मोटा नहीं. एक मनवंतर रंबीरट सेवा कर रहे भक्ति.
तो उनके लिए भी बहुत स्लो चलता है कैसे टाइम जैसा?
हाँ?
उनके लिए भी ऐसा फास्ट जाता है टाइम या फिर ऐसा स्लो जाता है?
See, fast and slow is based on one's absorption in the activity. If you are absorbed in one activity, time goes very fast. If you are not absorbed in that activity, time goes very slow. If you sit in a boring class like this, time goes very slow. If you sit in a nectarian class, some other class, time goes very fast. Time goes very quickly.
This is creation past.
Not like that. I'm just giving an example. So it's like that. It is based on our experience, based on our absorption. We see time is slow or fast. So, even though the Devata's day is very long, pretty long, or 6 months, but if they are absorbed, the pretty long day also will be passed very quickly. So it's like that. Pravartate yat rajastamastayo sattvam cha mishram na cha kala vikrama na yatra maya kimuta pare hare anuvrata yatra sura surarchitam.
In Vaikuntha, there is no Rajas or Tamas and no Sattva mixed with Rajas and Tamas. There is no influence of time. There is no influence of Maya at all. What to speak of its products such as material elements? In Vaikuntha, the inhabitants are fully dedicated to the Lord and are worshipped by the Devas, Asuras and devotees.
So now the qualities of Vaikuntha are described. The next, the qualities of Vaikuntha Vasis will be described. And next, the qualities of Lord Mother Lakshmi are described. Next, the qualities of Lord Vishnu are described. So let us see one by one. Try to see. These are all a description of Vaikuntha in one sense. In Vaikuntha, there is no Rajas and Tamas. Okay, let us see in the notes. In Vaikuntha, there is no influence of Rajas and Tamas. That means there is only Sattvaguna. And the Sattvaguna also will have no influence of Rajas and Tamas. No tinge of Rajas and Tamas. Rajas means creation. Tamas means destruction. That means in Vaikuntha there is no creation, there is no destruction. That means there is no birth and no death. In Vaikuntha there is no birth and no death. What is there remains eternally, like that only. There is also no material sattva which is mixed with rajas and tamas. There is only Shuddha sattva in the Vaikuntha. Pure sattva guna. No tinge of passion and ignorance. With absence of material sattva, there is no maintenance of temporary swarga and other lokas. Just like rajas means creation, tamas means destruction, sattva means maintenance. Since there is no material sattva also in Vaikuntha, there is no maintenance required in Vaikuntha. There is only Shuddha sattva. That's how everything is self-maintained. However, there is Shuddha sattva composed of eternity and knowledge. Everything is eternity, full of eternity. And everything is full of knowledge. Chinmaya. Related to the Sarupa Shakti of the Lord. In Narada Pancharatra, Jitanta Shrotra, it is said, Lokam Vaikuntha Namanam Divya Sadguna Samyutam Avaishnavanam Aprapyam Gunatraya Vivarjitam. Avaishnavanam Aprapyam, it cannot be obtained by Avaishnavas. It is free from three gunas, Gunatraya Vivarjitam. And Divya Sadguna Samyutam, it is filled with all the Divya Sadgunas, transcendental Sadgunas. And it is called as Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is endowed with 6 transcendental qualities. It is divided of 3 material gunas and is not attainable for the non-Vaishnavas. In the Padma Purana it is said. So these are the different qualities of Vaikuntha, different description of Vaikuntha. Tripada Vibhuti Rupam tu Shrunu Budara Nandini. Pradana Parama Vyomnor Antare Viraja Nadi. Here about the form of the spiritual world between the material realm and the spiritual sky is the splendid river called Viraja, flows with water produced from the perspiration of the Vedas. Beyond the river lies the place called Tripad. This Tripad means spiritual world. This supreme abode is eternally sweet, eternally young, and eternally blissful. This abode of the Lord is in Shuddha Sattva, full of pastimes and without decay. It is all the Vedas without contamination and never subject to destruction. It is beyond measure, without old age, true, full of truth, devoid of the stages of material consciousness like waking, sleeping, and deep sleep. There the sun, the moon, and fire do not shine. Having gone to the supreme abode of the Lord, one does not return. This abode of the Lord is filled with many inhabitants. This is the description of Vaikuntha. There is no influence of time which causes 6 types of transformations because the place is under the influence of the Lord's qualities. What else can be said? And there is no influence of the gunas because the gunas are cut out at the very root. Maya, the material cause of creation and destruction of the material world, a Shakti of the Lord, does not have any deluding influence in at all in all Vaikunthas. This is understood since it is already stated that Rajas and Tamas cannot exist there. Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattoguna does not exist. And Maya is made up of 3 gunas. If these 3 gunas are not existent, Maya does not exist in the spiritual world. What to speak of the absence of other things, such as the expansions of Maya like Mahatattva. This also means that the bodies in that place do not have a beginning produced from the material elements. The bodies are also eternally existing in the spiritual world. After a description of Vaikuntha, the inhabitants are described. In that place, there are associated the Lord, those who are in compliance to the Lord. They are called Anuvrata. They are completely follow the Lord as Lord desires. This means that everyone there acts for the pleasure of the Lord. It has already been stated that in the 3rd verse that the Lord is beyond the time and Maya. Now it is stated that Vaikuntha and the devotees in Vaikuntha are also beyond time and Maya. The devotees there, since they are bound, they are beyond time and Maya, should be worshipped by the devatas, demons, and devotees. Surar Surarchitam. Everyone worship the Supreme Lord. Everyone worship the Vaikuntha Vasis. Everyone worship the Vaikuntha. That is their glorious position. So this is the description about Vaikuntha Dham. And the next verse onwards, there is a detailed description of the Vaikuntha Vasis. So before that, we'll take a small break of 5 minutes. Okay, we'll continue with verse number 11 onwards. Shamavadata Shatapatra Lochana Pishangavastra Surusha Supeshasha Sarve Chaturbhavavi Unmishanmani Praveka Nishkabarana Suvarchasa Pravala Vaidurya Mrunala Varchasa Parispurat Kundala Mauli Malina.
The inhabitants of Vaikuntha are dark in complexion, effulgent. They have lotus eyes, yellow clothes, and pleasing demeanor, and are youthful. They all have 4 arms and wear ornaments of best shining jewels. They have splendors. Some are colored red, yellow, or white. They wear glittering earrings, crowns, and garlands.
These are the different qualities and attributes of Vaikuntha Vasis. The Vaikuntha Vasis are dark in complexion, Shama, and they are very effulgent. They have lotus eyes. They are wearing yellow cloth, pitambar, and their appearance is very pleasing. And they are always youthful. Not only Lord Vishnu, the Vaikuntha Vasis are also always remain youthful. They all have 4 arms, Sarupya, and wear ornaments of the best shining jewels. They have all splendors. Some of the Vaikuntha Vasis are in red color. Some of them are yellow. Some of them are white. And most of them are in Shama. It's like that. All the 4 colors are there.
This Vaikuntha is stored within the universe of Vaikuntha or beyond the Viraj?
जो भी वैकुंठ ब्रह्मा को दिखाया था वो वैकुंठ
कौन सा वैकुंठ दिखता है?
पूछो ना ब्रह्मा जी को.
क्या access?
रेड कलर भी रेड येलो और व्हाइट
हाँ है ना.
मतलब कैसे दिखेंगे?
क्योंकि यहाँ पे ट्रांसलेशन ऐसे तो
महाप्रभु
प्रवाला वैडूर्य मृणाला वर्चसा. Mrunala means white lily, white water lily. Vaidurya means yellow sapphire. Pravala means red. What is it say? Red stones रहते हैं ना वैसा. Yeah, Vaikuntha Vasis can be in different colors. What is the problem? They wear glittering earrings, crowns, and garlands. They are dark in complexion and shining with lotus eyes and yellow cloth. They are pleasing, very young. They wear ornaments with the best shining jewels and are extremely glorious. They have colors of coral. They are colors of Vaidurya and the water lily. Pravala means coral. Vaidurya is Vaidurya gem, which is in yellow color. And then Mrunala means white water lily. The Bhagavad Sandarbha explains that those devotees have forms like the Lord with colors like red and yellow. So different colors can be there. Why not? Harer Anuvrata Yatra Shamaruna Hari Sita Hari Harit Sita Taddat Varnam Upasesham Tat Sarupyam Upagata. In that place, the Lord's associates are black. Some of them are in Shama color. Some of them are reddish color. Aruna. Aruna means early morning rising sun, that color. And some of them are green, Harit. Some of them are white, Sita. By worshipping the Lord with a particular complexion, the devotees attain a form with a similar complexion. That means Lord also in different complexions. So they also get same complexion because they get Sarupya Mukti. Same complexion. This is from Laghu Bhavatamrita. They also have earrings, crowns, garlands, which are shining. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha were dark in complexion, effulgent, had a pleasing demeanor, and were youthful. They were dressed in dazzling garments and ornaments, etc., etc., etc. So now further details, further description of the Vaikuntha Vasis. Prajishnubirya parito virajate lasad vimana valibir mahatmanam vidyotamana pramadottamadhyubhi savidyudabravalibiryatanaha.
that effulgent place is filled with shining air vehicles belonging to the inhabitants. and shines with the divine forms of divine women. The planet appears to be a sky filled with clouds and flashing lightning.
Now the description of Vaikuntha with Vaikuntha Vasis with the analogy is given. The entire Vaikuntha abode is filled with lot of airplanes, brightly shining airplanes made up of golden canopies, etc., etc., which belong to Vaikuntha Vasis, and they are inhabited by the men Vaikuntha Vasis and the women Vaikuntha Vasis. Both are there. And now the entire scene appears to be Vaikuntha is compared to the sky, filled with clouds and flashing lightning. The Vaikuntha men who are in Shama color are the clouds, and the Vaikuntha women who are in fair color, they are like the lightning.
So they will not be
No, they will not be in Shama, they will be in fair color. Lord Krishna is in Shama, Srimati Radha in fair color. Huh? Mother Sita is in fair color, Lord Rama is in green color. So Lord only will have color. The men only have colors. Women are always in fair color. After a description of the inhabitant, the place is again described. The place is filled with the shining air vehicles and shines with celestial women. The place is like the sky. The Vaikuntha is like the sky, filled with clouds. The clouds are compared to air vehicles and flashes of lighting, the woman. The clouds are compared to the air vehicle and the women are like the lightning. So that's how the women, the women are traveling in the airplanes here and there. The sight of the inhabitants traveling with their concerts in shining airplanes looks like the sky is filled with the clouds and flashing lightning, etc. And now the women are described. The Vaikuntha women. Sririyatra Rupini Urugaya Padayo Karoti Manam Bahuba Bahuda Vibhuti Prenkam Shritaye Kusumakarang Mugair Vigiyamana Priyakarma Gayati.
There in Vaikuntha, beautiful Lakshmi worships the feet of the Lord, along with her many associates. Sitting on a swing, praised by the bees, she sings about the activity of the Lord.
Sri Rupinim, in that Vaikuntha, the beautiful Lakshmi worship the feet of the Lord along with her many associates. Okay, sitting on a swing, praised by the bees, she sings about the activities of the Supreme Lord. These are the activities of Goddess Lakshmi and her female associates. The concept of the Lord is described. She is the Sarupa Shakti of the Lord and very beautiful. She worships Lord's feet along with her associates, along with her many female associates. Being praised variously by bees, she sings about the activities of the Supreme Lord. The bees are glorifying Mother Lakshmi and Mother Lakshmi is glorifying Lord Vishnu. This is the constant activity going on. Sometimes Mother Lakshmi is serving the feet of the Lord there, and at other times she is singing the glories of the Lord while sitting on a swing. These are different activities of Mother Lakshmi. Generally, the photo of Mother Lakshmi always we see sitting at the lotus feet of Vishnu only. But here Bhagavatam describes that sometimes she is swinging on the swing and while glorifying the Lord's wonderful qualities and activities. So, etc. Darsha tatra kila shashvatam patim Shriyapatim yajnapatim jagatpatim Sunandananda prabalarhanadibhi Saparshadagrair parisevitam vibhum.
Brahma saw the Lord, Lord of all the devotees in Vaikuntha, the Lord of Lakshmi, Lord of sacrifice, and the Lord of the universe, served by his chief followers such as Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, and Arjuna.
So then the Lord of Vaikuntha is described. Having described Lakshmi, Sukadeva Goswami now describes the Lord of Vaikuntha. So what is the description of the Lord? So the Lord is the Lord of devotees in Vaikuntha. is the Lord of Mother Lakshmi, Lord of sacrifice, and is Lord of the universe, and is served by some of his chief followers, Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, Arhana, the gatekeepers. Vaikuntha, there are 7 gates. For every gate, there are 2 gatekeepers, and these are two gatekeepers of other gates. Sunanda, Nanda, 1 gatekeepers, Prabala, Arhana, another gatekeepers. So like that.
These are 4 gatekeepers.
There are 7 gates. For every gate, there are 2 gatekeepers. Like that, there are total 14 gatekeepers. Jaya Vijaya, we know famous gatekeepers. In addition to them, so we have Sunanda, Nanda, also Prabala, Arhana, also like the different personalities are there.
Yeah. Jay and Vijay are on the 7th gate.
Bhrutya prasada vimukam durgasavam prasannaha sarunalochananam kiritinam kundalinam chaturbujam pitambaram vakshati lakshitam striya.
The Lord, desiring to give mercy to his servants, was a joy to the eyes of the devotees. He had a joyful smile and eyes tinged with red. He had a crown on his head and wore earrings. He had 4 arms, wore yellow cloth, and on the left side of his chest was a golden light.
The Lord desiring to give mercy to his servants. Bhritya prasada abhimukam. Lord is always eagerly disposed to show causeless mercy to his devotees. And he was a joy to the eyes of the devotees. Drig asam. Asam means nectar. Okay. For those who are looking at the Lord, he is the object of bliss. They want to see more and more that Lord. He had a joyful smile, prasanna hasa, and eyes tinged with red, arna lochana ananam. Had a crown on his head and wore earrings, kiritinam kundalinam. He had 4 arms, chaturbujam. He wore yellow cloth, pitam kusam, and on the left side of his chest was a golden line. Vakshasi lakshitam striya. Strivasta. A line of Srivasta is mark is there on the left side of the chest. He is the giver of joy for those who see him. With the mention of yellow cloth, his dark complexion should also be understood. He is decorated with a golden line on the left side of his chest. These are different descriptions of Lord Vishnu. The beautiful Lord's smiling countenance indicates his desire to give mercy to his servants. He had 4 arms and had a Srivasta mark on his chest. Then further continues. Adyarhaniya sanamastitam param vrutam chatushodashapam cha shaktibhi yuktam bhagaisvair itaratra chadruvai swayeva damna ramamananeshwaram.
He saw the Lord seated on his praiseworthy throne, who was surrounded by the 4, 16, and 5 energies, who was endowed with natural powers and the temporary powers of all the other powerful beings, and who enjoyed in that spiritual ability.
How does the Lord situated there? Lord was sitting on a high throne, big throne, and he was surrounded by so many of his energies. There are one group of energies called as 4 energies, another group consisting of 16 energies, another group consisting of 5 energies. Different forms of servants are there. Parasa Shaktir Vivideva Shuvate. Lord has unlimited energies. Okay? They are in small groups. Different category of energies are there. One category are 4, one category are 16, another category are 5. And the Lord is endowed with all natural powers. The Supreme Lord is endowed with is Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara and Yogeshwara, whatever you say, is endowed with all the supernatural powers, and also is all endowed with all the powers that are possessed by the Devatas in the material world. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu also have some material powers. Brahma also has some powers. All these powers are also there in the Lord Vishnu, and he has many superior powers which are natural for Lord Vishnu. All those are there, and he enjoyed in that spiritual abode. He is always in happy mood in the spiritual abode. He is not in a painful or distressful mood. And now the description about the energies. This is the important thing. The four Shaktis are considered to be Dharma, Jnana, Aishwarya and Vairagya. These are described in the Padma Purana in the description of the center of Vaikuntha. How it is described? Dharma, Jnana, Tataishwarya, Vairagya, Pada Vigrahai, Rug, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana, Rupair, Nityam, Vrutam, Kramad. The place, that means the Vaikuntha is surrounded by Dharma, Jnana, Aishwarya and Vairagya. And the personifications of the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharvaveda. The four Vedas personified people also there. And Dharma, Jnana, Aishwarya and Vairagya are there. There was one verse came in the first canto. Krishna, Sodamopagate. Then what? Then what? Shloka batao.
Krishna's Dharma.
Dharma Jnana Adibi Saha. Dharma Jnana Adibi Saha. So Lord Krishna, when departed, he went along with Dharma, Jnana and others. What others? Aishwarya and Vairagya. They are the four principal energies of the Lord, Supreme Lord. Whenever he comes with all this Dharma, Jnana, Aishwarya and Vairagya. What is the definition of Bhagavan? Shloka batao. इधर उधर नहीं, पूरा श्लोक बताओ ठीक से.
ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य
हाँ
वीर्यस्य
हाँ
यशस्
हाँ बस हो गया. आज पहले बार लेक्चर सुना का? ऐश्वर्यस्य समग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशस्श्रिया ज्ञान वैराग्ययोश्चैव सन्नम्भग इतिंगना. Out of the six, how many are there here? Aishwarya. Aishwaryasya samagrasya, Viryasya yashasashriya. Virya and yashas both are not there. Jnana vairagyayos chaiva sannambaga itingana. Okay. Dharma stands for Jnana is there. Jnana, Aishwarya, Vairagya and Dharma is there. And Virya, Yashasashriya. Three are there now, or three you can compare to Dharma and other things. So like that, basically the six opulences which Lord endowed with always. That's why it's called Bhagavan. When he goes back, he will take all the six opulences along with him. That is understanding. These are described in the Padma Purana. We have seen that. The 16 Shaktis are Chanda and others. They are also described in Padma Purana. What are the 16 energies? Huh? हाँ उसके बारे में पद्म पुराण में. So who are the 16 energies? There are 7 gates. 14 people will be there now. 7 gates. So they are described. At the eastern gate there are Chanda and Prachanda. At the southern gate Bhadra and Subhadra. At the western gate Jaya and Vijaya. At the northern gate Data and Vidata. How many are over? 8 are over. In the direction starting from east are Kumuda, Kumudaksha, Pundarika, Vamana, Shankukarna, Sarvanetara, Sumukha and Supratishta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Matlab 4 more. So in 4 directions there are 4 gates. In the eastern direction,
4 directions, 4 gates, and in between the directions again 4 are there. 4 into 2 8.
Maybe in 8 directions. In 8 directions 8 gates are there. So like that we can understand. But when I read, I was feeling that in the direction starting from east are Kumuda, Kumudaksha, Pundarika, Vamana. It is not clearly mentioned. I was thinking that if this is Vaikuntha, 1, 2, 3, 4 are there, and here in the eastern direction only 1 is there. In front of that 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 5 gates and these are 3. Total 8 gates are there. Like that I thought. Or starting from east you can understand the gate. Already one gate is there and one more gate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or as you mentioned in the Agneya, Nairuti, Vajuvi and Ishanya, like 8 corners. 8 gates. 8 to just 16. They are the 16 energies. They are all there. The 5 Shaktis are as follows. Kumarach.
There seem to be like only people.
Shakti means people only, na? In the spiritual world, Shakti means personified form only. 4 Vedas means 4 Vedas person full form only. That is what is mentioned, na?
Yeah, but now we can actually understand from those 4 Shaktis. What are actually those 4 Shaktis? They have some functional aspect.
In the material world, they have some function. In the spiritual world, they are person. Abhi Jagannath Rathayatra is coming. Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and Sudarshana. Sudarshana also is a person. But in the material world, he appears to be like Chakra. For function point of view, he appears to be Chakra, but he himself is a person.
Yes.
We in every situation we have Sudarshana also. Sudarshana Alvar.
So what will be the function of these 16?
Who?
These 16.
The gatekeepers, they are bodyguards.
They don't have any functional aspect in the material world.
Can be. इसके अलावा और क्या function चाहिए? इतना बड़ा function है. They are like associates regularly, they are bodyguards. When there is some VIP, there should be some bodyguards, na? Protection. उसके बड़ा और क्या function रहता है? Still. So they are like personal security. VIP, Z category security. Kurmascha Nagarajascha Vainateya Traishwara Chandamsi Sarva Matramscha Pita Rupatva Mastita Kurma Ananta Garuda, who is the Lord of the Vedas and Vedic meters, and all the mantras are situated in the form of the Pita. The 5 Shaktis are, one is Kurma, second one is Ananta, third one is Garuda, fourth one is the Vedic meters, Chandas, the fifth one is the Vedic mantras. Okay? All these people are there in the Vaikuntha, surrounding Lord Vishnu.
Hanuman is also there with Vishnu.
No, Hanumanji will be there only with Rama. Garuda will be there with Vishnu.
Why in all the Vishnu temples?
Huh?
One side is always given Hanuman and one side is given Garuda.
No, not like that. Hanumanji is there in all Vishnu temples? No. Generally, Garuda will be there. In all traditional temples, only Garuda will be there. The temples recently constructed, they will keep Hanumanji and Garuda. Huh? There must be Lord Rama's deity or somewhere. Somewhere in the temple, there should be Lord Rama's deity. Then Hanumanji will be there. Without Lord Rama's deity, Hanumanji will not be there. There should be somewhere Lord Rama's deity in the temple, then they will keep Hanumanji also. And that too, in traditional temples, both will not be there. Only Vishnu is there, matlab Garuda will be there. Lord Rama is there, Hanumanji will be there. If both of them are there, that must be recent construction.
So that Garuda Stambha, which is
that
represents Garuda.
On the top of that Stambha,
also Garuda is there. He is always ready. My dear Lord, let us go. Some devotee is in difficulty. Lord says, get ready. He is already ready. They go and do the needful.
Garuda is actually eagerly waiting. He's seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if slightly actually moves the lotus feet, he'll actually do it.
He is Dhamvasi, he knows.
So here, who is the Lord of the Vedas? He's actually referring to Garuda.
Garuda, who is the Lord of the Vedas. Vainateya Traishwara. Because we hear, na, when Garuda flaps the wings, the flapping of the wings is as good as chanting the Vedas. So that's why he's called the Lord of the Vedas. His moving itself is chanting of the Vedas. Our chanting of the Vedas is also not chanting the Vedas. So it is like that. And now, this is one understanding of the 4:16:5. There is another understanding of the 4:16:5. The 4 can also refers to Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva and Ahankara. Okay. The 16 can refer to the 10 senses with the mind and the 5 gross elements. Panchamahabhutas, mind and 5 Jnanendriya, 5 Karmendriyas, 16. The 5 can refer to the 5 Tanmatras. So Swami gives this explanation, which is acceptable. Padma Purana gives the previous explanation. Swami gives this explanation. The 4 stands for Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva and Ahankara. You see 24 elements are there. Mahatattva Ahankara plus 16 plus 2, 18. 18 plus 5, 23. 23 elements are there. So in that way, all are covered.
This 4, 16, 5 is everything in connection with the material energy.
No, the previous discipline only spiritual.
Apart from the Purusha.
Ah.
No, according to Sridhar Swami's explanation.
Ah.
The 4, 16, 5, all the energy Shaktis which is referred, that is only with respect to the material energy, apart from the Jiva.
Yes. In this case, even Maya along with Mahatattva and other elements remain there in the Vaikuntha, offering devotion to the Supreme Lord. This can be explained by the fact that the spiritual world, composed of the Swarupa Shakti of the Lord, is the shelter of all Shaktis, including the material Shaktis. Spiritual world is abode for all Shaktis, both material Shaktis and spiritual Shaktis. Both will be there. It has already been stated in verse 10 that Maya and her products cannot bewilder the Jiva in the spiritual world. Though these material Shaktis are there in the spiritual world, they cannot touch anyone. This should be understood when the verse says that the place is not influenced by time. Nachakala Vikrama. This should also be understood when Brahma saw Lord Krishna's expansions as Vishnu forms. Brahma Viman Lila. When he saw all Vishnu forms, it is said that Animadyair Mahimadyair Ajadbir Ajadyabir Vibhutibir Chatur Vimshadbir Tattvai Parita Mahadadibir. All the Vishnu Murtis were surrounded by the opulences, aided by Anima Siddhi, Mahima Siddhi, etc. By the mystic potencies headed by Aja, and by the 24 elements for creation of the material world headed by Mahatattva. When Brahma saw all the cohort bodies transforming into Vishnus, the Vishnus forms are surrounded by 24, all these different variety of energies. Energies like Anma Siddhi, energy like Aja, and energies like Mahatattva and other elements. They are all serving the Lord. They are always there in the spiritual world, that means.
Personified forms of
personified form of all the elements. In that way. The Lord was also endowed with his natural powers, Swai Bagai, and the temporary powers of Brahma and others. He saw the Lord who enjoys in Vaikuntha with its own form. Lord Brahma had darshan of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, who is really happy in his own abode. Taddarshanāhlāda pariplutantaro Rushyastanu prema barashrulochana Nanama padambujamasya vishwasrug Yat paramahamsena patadi gamyate.
The creator of the universe, Brahma, filled with joy on seeing the Lord, with hair standing on him and tears in his eyes, offered respects to the feet of the Lord, which are attained by the path of God.
See, Lord is happy seeing Brahma, and seeing the happy Lord, Brahma also became joyful. Brahma, with the creator of the entire universe, filled with the joy on seeing the Lord, with hair standing on end, the tears in his eyes, offered respects to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, which are attained by the practice of bhakti. Yet, paramahamsena pata adigamyate. By following the Pata Paramahamsas, one can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Supreme Lord in that way. The word Paramahamsa refers to the devotees. This is understood from the verses such as Kimva Bhagavata Dharma Na Prayena Nirupita Priya Paramahamsa Nam Tayevai Achyuta Priya. First canto. It might be because I have not described bhakti, which is very dear to the Paramahamsa Bhaktas. I am not feeling happy like that Vyadeva was feeling. The reason for his dissatisfaction. One who is attached to the nectarian honey of the Lord's lotus feet and whose mind is always absorbed in his glories may sometimes be checked by some impediment, but he still never give up the exalted position he has acquired. That means this verse says that one who has tasted the nectar of Lord's lotus feet, even though there may be so many other things, but will never give up the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Even if they give up, they will never forget the taste of Lord's lotus feet. Later on, because of that remembrance, they again come back to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That is the greatness of Lord's lotus feet. The condition of such Paramahamsas is called Bhakti Yoga or Paramahamsya. The lotus feet of the Lord are attained by the path of Bhakti Yoga. The Lord says, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahya. I am attained by Bhakti alone. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only by Bhakti I am understood and I am attained. So like that. So that's how Brahma's happiness upon seeing the Lord Vishnu is indicated. Now what else Brahma did? Tam priyamanam samupastitam kvachim praja visarge nijasasanarhanam babasha isha smicha sochita gira priya priyam pritamana kare sprishan.
The Lord, overjoyed, filled with prema for Brahma, touching Brahma with his hand because of his love for him. With words led by a slight smile, spoke to Brahma, who was filled with prema on seeing the Lord, and who was worthy of following the Lord's command for creating the universe.
The Lord, overjoyed, filled with love for Brahma, touching Brahma with his hand because of his love for him. Brahma was, Lord Vishnu standing giving darshan. Lord Brahma was standing in front of Lord Vishnu, but he is kneeled on his knees and offering obeisances like this. So Lord Vishnu was so happy and he just touched like this. He did not do handshake. Prabhupada right shook hand. Lord shook hands with Brahma, but actually not handshaking. Brahma was like this, offering Anjali, and then he just touched like this out of love. Lord Vishnu touches. When Dhruva came, he touched. When Prahlad came, he touched. When Brahma came, also he touched. That is a common feature in the Bhagavatam.
People actually translate that Kare expression as the shaking of the hand.
Yes. Kare expression mainly touching the hand. Touching the hand of Brahma, which is offering obeisance to Lord Vishnu.
In purport, Prabhupada also writes that this shaking hands.
Yes.
was-
With words led by a slight smile, spoke to Brahma, who was filled with prema and seeing the Lord, and who was worthy of following Lord's command for creating the universe. So after touching the hands of Brahma, Lord spoke to Brahma. Brahma
How do
was
they actually clearly know that Brahma, while he actually was holding his folded palms, and then the Lord actually touched the hand. How do we know that explanation?
So when Lord comes in front of you, what you will do? When you go to temple, what you will do? Simple, as that.
But exactly what happened?
Exactly what happens. When we go to temple, we also offer obeisances. Like that, Brahmaji getting darshan of Lord Vishnu, can't he offer obeisances? It is there, na? Tam priyatamam samupastitam kvachin praja visarge nija samsta naranam babasha isha smeshobidani priyan priyam pritamana kare sprusham. So in the previous verse,
Like, did Vishnu Chakravarti talk about the Acharya has actually told that?
they are also telling, and without that also, it is there. So in the previous verse, it is said clearly, with hair standing on end, with tears in his eyes, offered respects to the feet of the Lord, which are attained by the path of bhakti. How Brahma offered obeisance to feet of the Lord? He must have fell flat, offered obeisances, then he must have got up, is still in the knees and offering obeisances. No.
Still on the knees is
Shake hand is a Western concept, Baba. It is not. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Tvayaham Toshita Samyak Vedagarbha Sisrikshaya Chirambrutena Tapasa Dustosha Kuta Yoginam.
The Lord said, O Brahma, I am completely satisfied with you for performing long penance in order to carry out creation of the universe. I cannot be satisfied with the penances of the greatest of the universe.
There is a clear-cut understanding of this offering obeisances to others in the Bhagavatam 4th canto. Daksha Pashtam, Dakshigna Pashtam Vidarna. When somebody comes to us, we offer namaskar. The namaskar is not to the person. The namaskar is to the Paramatma in the heart of that person. Because every person carries Paramatma. That's why we say Atiti Deva Bhava. Atiti is not the Deva. The Paramatma in the heart of Atiti is the Deva. So he is coming to our home. The service is actually meant for the Paramatma in the heart of that guest. But on behalf of Lord Vishnu, who is Paramatma, that guest will accept the service.
Why only like that specifically?
That is the culture, Baba. Then what else you want?
Like,
What else you want?
why then it is actually indirectly highlighting the position of the guest, but ideally it should be the position of the Paramatma.
Why? It is not highlighting the position of guest. We are highlighting the position of Paramatma only.
Then why it should be actually associated with Atiti?
Anyone for that matter. Anyone for that matter. When a guest comes uninvited, that is as good as the Supreme Lord coming on his own to accept our service. The host should be eager to serve the Lord who comes uninvited. Anytime he can come. From that point of view. आपका family घर वाले तो हमेशा रात में रहेगा ना. But when somebody comes uninvited, what is your disposition? That is your natural constitutional position. घर वाला के लिए plan कर सकते. But a guest comes अचानक. Can you plan? What you respond, that is your constitutional position. So it's like that. So now, Lord Vishnu is speaking. Oh Brahma, I am completely satisfied with you for performing very long penance. Shiram Brutena Tapasa. In order to carry out the creation of the universe. I cannot be satisfied with the penances of the great yogis. The other yogis who might perform such a kind of long tapasyas for some ulterior motives, but I am not happy with that kind of sacrifices, that kind of tapasya. Your tapasya is very honest. Your tapasya is meant to know how to create the universe. That's why I am very much satisfied with you. Veda Garbha means that Brahma, fully understanding the Vedas, imparts them to others. Brahma is the womb of the Vedas. He can give the Vedas to anybody and everyone. He had undertaken penances for a long time for creating the universe. The yogis cannot satisfy me in the same way. So, like that. Varam varaya badram te varesham abhivanchitam brahman shreya parishrama pumsho maddarshanavadi.
Brahma, all auspiciousness to you. Please ask your desired benediction from me, who can award all benedictions. Endeavors in the process of bhakti and in seeing.
This is one of the important line. Can you remember this for your entire life? Oh Brahma, let there be auspiciousness unto you. Please ask your desired benediction, whatever you want from me, who can award all benedictions. Varesham, I am the Lord of all the Varas. I am Varadaraj. So don't hesitate but ask for any benediction. And then Lord says that Brahman Shreya Parishrama Pumsho Maddarshanavadi. Endeavors in the process of bhakti ends in seeing me. Shreya stands for bhakti. Parishrama means all our endeavors. Pumsha means all of us. All of our endeavors in the process of bhakti ends in darshan of the Supreme Lord. By the darshan of Supreme Lord, one thing happens. What is that? During the performance of sadhana bhakti, we get the knowledge about the Lord. But when we see the Lord, we get the realization of the Lord. What we study now, when we see, becomes realized. And after there is nothing to know, nothing more to know. Everything will be understood and realized. So that's why it said that Mad Darshanam Paramavadi. My darshan is the ultimate end of one's sadhana. Having darshan of the Supreme Lord is the ultimate end of one's sadhana. That's how we have to understand. Ma means mom. Ask for your desired object. Endeavors for gaining results from the best process such as hearing and chanting culminates in seeing me. This is because my devotees do not accept any result other than seeing me. If the Lord is offering so many other results, they say not this, not this, not this. We just want to see you only. We just want to serve you only. Nothing more than that. That is the final blessing the devotees wants always. Please ask for a benediction, though the highest benediction that one can achieve, receive through devotional service is getting my darshan. So like that. Manishitaanubhavo yam mama lokavalokanam yad upashrutya rahasi chakarta paramam tapa.
Seeing my planet reveals all knowledge. Also by my mercy, you previously heard my instructions when you were all alone and performed the greatest austerities.
Seeing my abode, mama loka avalokanam, reveals all knowledge. Manishita anubhavata. Anubhava. So seeing me is the ultimate end of one sadhana. Seeing my abode, okay, reveals all knowledge. Manishitanubhavoyam mama lokavalokanam. This is also another phrase. These two phrases you should remember. Also by my mercy, you previously heard my instructions. It is I only, out of causeless mercy upon you, I spoke ta and pa. Then by my mercy, you understood that you need to practice tapasya, and then you perform tapasya for 1000 celestial years. Seeing my planet rather than study of the scriptures reveals wisdom. Hare Krishna. Seeing my planet rather than studying scriptures reveals wisdom. Not only now do I have affection for you, but previously also. I only spoke the words tapa tapa. All alone hearing those words, you perform the great austerity. Also, darshan of my planet reveals all knowledge. By my mercy, you previously heard my instructions when you were alone, performed tapasya. Pratyadishtam maya tatra tvayi karma vimohite tapo me hridayam sakshat atma ham tapaso naga.
Those words are spoken by me. When you were bewildered about how to create the universe in the beginning, O sinless Brahma, austerity for attaining me is my heart, and I am the soul of that austerity.
Those words were spoken by me, Tapa and Tapa, when you were bewildered about how to create the universe in the beginning. O sinless Brahma, austerity for attaining me is my heart, and I am the soul of that austerity. Tapo me hrudayam sakshat atma aham tapasa. Tapasya is my heart. I am the heart of tapasya. Are you getting? I only spoke instructions unto you when I spoke at the beginning of the creation, when you were bewildered about what to do. Austerity indeed my Shakti. It is my heart. Austerity is one of my Shakti. Tapasya is also one of the Lord's Shaktis. And it is the heart of the Lord. This means that I desire that the Jiva give up enjoyment for material life, since that is favorable for Bhakti. I desire that Jiva should not have material desires. Initially, they should take up tapasya. Lord Rishabhdev speaks to his sons, 100 sons headed by Bharat Maharaj, about tapasya. What was that verse? Nayam Deo Deo Bhajam Rulokam Kashtan Kaman Narhate Vidbhujamye Tapo Divyam Putraka Ena Satvam Shuddhed Yasman Brahma Sokyam tu Anantam. If at all you want to taste the Ananta Brahma Sokya, you need to take up tapasya. Otherwise, the material happiness is available even for Vidbhujam. It's 2 liters, like dogs and hogs. So like that. The human life is meant for Tapo Divyam. So like that. Yasyaham anugrahanami arishe taddanam shanai. I will gradually take away the wealth from the person whom I show mercy. If somebody is not willing to take up tapasya, Lord created the facilities in such a way that one is forceful to take up tapasya by taking away their wealth, which is source of material enjoyment and material entanglement. It's like that. In that austerity, if that austerity is performed for attaining me, it is my heart, but not otherwise. Tapasya in general is not Lord's heart. If the tapasya is performed to attain the Lord, like Ekadashi Vrata, Nirjala Ekadashi Vrata, that is Lord's heart. If tapasya is performed for getting some material gains, it is not Lord's heart. Like without me at the goal, austerity is without life, like a corpse. That is true for the materialists who perform austerity with a desire for material pleasure. Even though you have performed austerity with a desire to create the universe, because I have inspired that desire, and that austerity is pleasing to me, it is actually performed without desire. Thus, I have showed you my abode. Apparently, Lord Brahma performed tapasya with a desire to create the universe, but that desire is also inspired by the Supreme Lord. Lord Brahma on his own does not have any desire. This Lord only inspired the desire in Brahma, and Lord only inspired him to do tapasya, and Brahma performed tapasya. That means Brahma had no material desires. That's how if a person performs tapasya without any material desires, Lord will reveal his own Vaikuntha. He will reveal himself to that devotee. Select it. Otherwise, not. Sujami tapasai vedam, grasami tapasa puna, bibharmi tapasa vishwam, viryam me dushkaram tapa.
The austerity I create, destroy and maintain the universe again and again. My power arises from intense austerity.
So now Lord is highlighting the position of the austerity, tapasya. By tapasya I create, by tapasya I destroy, by tapasya I maintain the universe again and again. All my powers also arise from my intense tapasya. That's why Lord in the form of Narayana Rishi always performing tapasya for the well-being of the residents of Bharatavarsha. I am always a performer of austerity since I renounce material enjoyment, being the master of the spiritual Ladini Shakti that is stated in this verse. It also indicates that from this detachment arises my ability to create and destroy the worlds. In fact, I create, maintain, and destroy this material universes only by austerity. My power arises from intense austerity. Even devotees also get powers by performing tapasya. If one leads a life of tapasya, one develops natural powers. That is the glory of tapasya. It's like that.
How will that be manifested?
Huh?
How will that power be manifested?
One simple example. Those devotees who lead austere life in the beginning days, their personality himself will be very much attractive eventually. They will attract the mercy of the Supreme Lord, and they will become a dear object for every rest of all. Some simple two examples I'll give. If a student is studying day and night, working hard, will he gain good score? Working hard means tapasya. Getting good score is the result. It's like that. Even in the case of devotees also who go through austerities, who actually keep senses and mind under control, eventually whatever they speak, it is like very attractive to everyone to hear. Example, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who underwent a lot of tapasya in his initial years. So now his personality himself is so attractive. Whatever he speaks is also attractive. Like that. Same thing applicable to everyone. So one need to follow a bona fide regulated lifestyle. Then eventually whatever they do becomes attractive thing. That is the benefit of this. Okay. We'll stop here. It's already late. I just wanted to close this verse. So next verse, Lord Brahma asked some questions for which the answer is Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So that the connection will be proper. We'll start tomorrow from